Welcome back to the channel. Today there's a bit of a longer hunt and it's focused on maybe the newer player. I thought maybe it might be beneficial to a few to sort of have me talk through like shot placement and sort of the thought process in setting up the shot. I'm by no means an expert, but I have been doing these sort of little hunting games for quite some time, and I thought maybe it'd be helpful. So hopefully you enjoy the episode, and see you in there. Now, I'm no expert at any kind of video game, um, but I have put, a good many years into hunting games and am familiar with it. And I am aware that there's a lot of kind of newer players in this game and that watched my channel. So I thought, we got something running off there. Yeah, I just spawned in. How are you already spooked? But I thought, maybe just do a hunt, kind of talk about sort of more of the basics of shot placement and everything like that, and just sort of do a casual hunt and just give advice as I go, if I have any. So the first piece of advice is to find the need zones and find the hot spots, and this one's a common one, I think. I call it Elk Lake, right in the middle of, what do you call it, Orchard? Something Orchard? What is this place? It's not telling me. Did I remove the names or something? I must remove the names. I did always hit that by accident. There we go. White Pine Orchard. There is a lake right here in the middle, nice little round one with a tower on it, and there's a fast travel zone. So if you want to practice on elk or any bigger animals or even deer, lots of things come here to drink. So this is a nice little fast zone to unlock, and a nice little first little start here. So always check the wind. We got 10 meters per second coming in from the south, so the wind is good. And when you're sort of starting out, I wouldn't recommend taking any shots over 300 meters. So they're within a good range there too. So, if you're just sort of learning the game, you don't really need to be too picky at what you're picking here. But I always try and get the 1-star matures, which is going to be this guy here. So we're just going to mark them just to make sure here. And the weapons I'm bringing, I recommend to start if you can get the 7mm .8. It's an affordable weapon and it's more forgiving than the 243, and definitely more range than the 30-30, the grandpa's rifle you start with. So I do recommend getting this one. Now, apparently it's not as accurate as the 243, but when you're only shooting out less than 300 meters, there's not really going to be a whole lot of difference there. I just need to wait for this guy to stand up. There he goes. So yeah, there's all sorts of different types of shots you can take. Basically, you don't want to take moving ones like this, unless you're really practiced with the lead that's required in the game, and I haven't figured that out yet. The lead, you seem to have to lead a lot. Now he's kind of moved to a not so great spot. I wish you could see him better. And there's always really a lot to talk about. A lot of positioning and spot and stock and everything. And it all depends on how much patience you have too. I mean, I started on hunter difficulty and I didn't have the patience for it. It all depends on the mood you're in and what you're trying to get from the game. I'm interested in the seeing the animals and the herd management stuff, setting up the reserves, whenever they bring equipment in, stuff like that, the shot placement and the ballistics and stuff. So I just play on easy. When they finally come out with the patch, if it hasn't been released by now, I might play around the difficulties a bit more. But this sort of thing, the sneaking around, the hunting part of it is it's definitely something that takes a while to practice with. But most of my stuff's not really sneaking around. I mean, if they're in a bad position, I don't usually dink around too much to try and get into a position. I'll flush them out and put them in a better one. So I'm trying to sneak up to them now. I might spook them just because this is a rough position is whenever the animals are right over a ledge, because you can't really approach. As soon as you pop over, they'll hear you even before then. And I think they're looking at me now. Yes, they are. So on easy, once you go alert, you just have to stop, and then they'll calm down a bit. But yeah, if you can get within 200 meters or so, or I guess within 300 meters, the rest of it just comes with setting up the shot. Always remember elevation is really important. I have no idea where they're going now. And then to start, you want to try for the broadsides. Broadside, double lung. And they're all looking at me there. So I'm not sure I'm going to get a nice example here because there is a 1-star mature I want to take right now. Now, when you get practiced enough, this is a shot I can do. This is called quartering away, and when they're on an angle to you. Basically, you're always thinking about the lung shots, just because the lung shots are the ethical one, and they're large and easier to hit. Some people in the community, when they're calling, they'll just do the headshots because you don't actually need to hit the brain. A lot of hunting games you need to hit the brain, so a lot of the times we don't take that shot because the head's always moving. Well, not this guy because he's like staring at me. But if you look at some of these, the brain is real hard to hit with like a moving head, especially when they're eating or drinking or anything. But in this game, if you bring a big enough caliber, you can just punk them in the skull and it will do enough damage to knock them out. So that is one strategy. I don't quite recommend learning that way. I would say trying to learn the shot placement correctly. So he's becoming broadside now a little better. He's still quartering away. I want to make sure it's the right one. And like anything in hunting, if you no, he's not the right one. You take as much time as you need. If they get away, they get away. You just kind of. It's like I think the best way to approach it is to just do it like a no pressure kind of thing, and that gets to me sometimes because I forget about that sometimes. And look at these guys hurtle together. See, this is what I need for the test. We wanted to take the big 338 and throw a bullet right through and see how many we get, but okay, I don't know what's going on there. They're just gonna all look at me. Okay, that's a little ridiculous. Okay, that's kind of funny. They're all gonna just group together. I didn't bring a big enough caliber to do that. But the proper thing to learn is the broadside lung shot. You take your time. You look at this guy; he's broadside. Just kind of learn how to place the shot in there. It's like 200 meters is fine. See, I could line that guy up, but there's so many things clipping into him right now. Like there's like a cow sort of clipping into him. And there's lots of hints and look at it. So you can't take this shot when they're clipping through each other. There's lots of strategies and things people will tell you, and lots of different things that work. I wish I could see one clear to talk about it. Well, maybe they're going to walk out here. A lot of people will tell you, you watch that front leg and you shoot where the crease is. That's always good advice. So you go up that front leg. And this is what happened last time. They all got stuck in there. But maybe it'll give me a chance to see them a little better. You watch that front leg, and about where it creases together, you shoot in there, is about where the heart lies. But that kind of strategy only works, when they are broadside. When they're quartering, let's see if anyone's quartering here. Like this guy right here yelling at me, he's quartering. Might be hard to see on the video, I'm not sure. Another strategy is to shoot where you're picturing the back of the front leg that's away from you. So you're trying to like dissect through them and trying to hit where that back leg would be, the back of that back leg. So that's a little harder to do too, but that's another strategy. The one I use though is just spend a bit of time. Like, see, that's a perfect broadside there. You would follow this leg up and you would just kind of put it right there if you were straight on. We're elevated though, so you got to lift up a little bit. But that's a good example there. Let's just see if he's an actual guy I can take. But the strategy that works for me the best, when he's just a young guy, when shooting, is I just spend some time on the harvest screen looking at the 3D X-ray model of it. And what worked best for me is just picturing the internals, like actually visualize where the lungs are in there, and you do it enough, you kind of figure it out. So basically, I just look and I can just picture where the lungs are, and it helps because it doesn't matter what angle they're at if you can envision it. Just pretend you got X-ray goggles on, and then you can see where those lungs are, both of them, and then that helps with the quartering shots and all the bit more difficult ones. So I'll try and find one here to set up. They're going to start quartering away, so that's okay. Quartering to you is a little difficult because there's a shoulder blade to contend with. Once you start visualizing the lungs, you also can start visualizing where the shoulder blade is and the leg is, and you start noticing that creates a little bit of a problem. The quartering away is a little hard to visual unless you get used to it, but quartering away you don't have any bones to contend with, so you'd sort of place it in here, sort of visualize where the lung is, and sneak it in and play the angle. Takes a bit of practice. So I'm kind of gibbering on about just because I realize that there's some newer people to the genre hunting sims that watch. See, here's one I can take, and I forget that a lot of people haven't figured it all out yet. So you always want to check the wind, you want to check the distance. You got your hunter sense going, it'll show you the distance in the top corner. So he's 200. Now normally you'd set your zeroing in the game, but I keep it at 100 just to play the drop. I just find it a bit more fun and a bit more challenging on the shots. This one's going to be challenging enough. He's a heavy quarter right now, quartering away, and he's got some distance. So you also got to keep in mind of the wind. Wind to the left is going to pull it. This is actually going to be a hard shot. A good little example there. So visualize the lungs. He's going to turn and totally throw me off. Okay, he's still quartering away there. 230. You're going to want to wait till he stops, and that would be a good spot to take the shot. So wind to the left. Visualize the lung. And place it right where you're visualizing. So there's the blood there. That's a good hit. So here's the thing with the 7 mil that I wanted to show. It's not really a strong enough gun to reliably take down elk, as far as the game showing you, but it gets a cavity bonus of damage there. So I haven't used the 7 mil actually that much. In the community, there's it's proving to be a gun worthwhile taking for deer hunting, and since elk is kind of above its tier, I wanted to use it just to show. When you start in the game, if you can, this is a more affordable weapon. If you can afford it, it's actually a more forgiving round than the 243. Maybe I'm giving too much info or all at once. I'm not too sure. Just because there's such a broad range of different skill levels that do watch my videos. But there's just a lot, a lot to get used to, and there is a lot to learn. I mean, I started playing before the Hunter Classic, but the Hunter Classic by EW there is like 12 years old or something, and I played for a good 3/4 of that time frame. And that was as far as hunting game goes, that was a difficult one. So you can, these guys are all going to get stuck. So you can, this is actually a good place to test out things if you you get them all stuck here, then you can sort of test out the different weapons and see how they do. Yeah, and that was a hard one. So when you play a difficult hunting game for a while, you just over time you just get better at it like anything else. Yeah, so you get the pink blood. That's you want to hit the lungs. He shouldn't be very far. He's just up here. So I figured I would just do a few hunts here and then just talk about the thought process or just kind of what I'm doing. That's I'm no pro at it, but I have been doing it long enough that I do realize I got a few bits of knowledge I could pass on. So let's analyze. Where's my claim? Okay, claim. So if we take a look at the shot there, that's good placement right there. Alright, so that's a 230 meter shot. Now zeroed at 100. So once you practice a bit, it's quite fun to play the drop and the wind. And learn the ballistics of the gun here. Now it might be hard to see on the video Um, but the 7 mil is too small for an elk. As you can see at the 2,500 joules of energy, it's below the recommended kill of it. But it does get a bonus to this orange cavity kind of thing, and it's got a cone that's like evenly spread. Like it doesn't punch out all its energy right away. It'll more like smoothly transition in, expand into the middle, and expand out. Some of the bullets will uh, punch out their energy too early, like spike too early before they get to the organ. You want to be able to get a lot of that orange into the actual organ. See how a lot of it's outside? When the bullet's traveling out here, you can actually see on here the time of it. So this is the flesh hit. From here to here, it loses a whole lot of power until the point that it hits the bone, hits this rib. So all this power is lost doing nothing. Just adding, you can see the little brown and orange up in the flesh. That first little section of that graph is just this damage here, and that's doing nothing. So once it hits that lung, the lung has a lot less, for lack of a better word, hit points than the flesh. So once it gets in there, it starts building up that like light brown penetration damage, and that damage builds up as it travels. As you can see, sort of showing you the lung. I don't quite get the color coding yet. I think the blue is penetration in cavity damage. Yeah, I'm not too sure on the blue and the red, like where it turns red from the blue. Anyways, but you can see the time that it hits the bone, then there's a little bit of gap between the bone and the lung where it loses more energy. Then it finally hits the lung, doing about 1,500 joules. And that's way below the recommended. However, it gets enough. By the time it's gotten to that lung, it just spikes the cavity damage, so it's doing its full cavity damage at that point. And then the cavity damage is also traveling through the lung with the penetration, so you can see how it builds up. And then you get the kill once one of the bars fill all the way up. But it doesn't have enough power to get there. But I did want to use the 7mm just to sort of go into more depth and explain how that sort of works. So when you really look into it, you can... I'm just looking at something else here. You can see... Oh, okay, that's the color coding there. You can see the differences in the round. So you can see the color. I don't know how it shows up in the video, but see blue's going through the lung, and at the end of the blue is where it exits the lung. And it's going to be... Maybe I can zoom in here. Oh, look at this. It's crazy. I never actually zoomed in. Oh, so there's where it leaves the... Oh my god. Okay, this is cool. I never actually zoomed in this far before. Look at the detail, eh? Okay, that's awesome. So the blue's when it left the lung, and it'll put the little dot on the chart when it leaves, right? So this is when it's in the lung doing damage, and that's when it left. It's no longer doing damage to the lung after that. It's just in between, and it lodges in there. And a little further would have got hurt there. So anyways, yeah, we're just going to sell him. See, this is an awesome lake because the mule deer just arrived here too. So everything, he's a 1-star mature, so he's going to be the next target. I'm really glad I encountered that, or did that elk shot there, because the 7mm is supposed to be too underpowered for elk. But that's just a perfect example as to why the 7mm should be purchased if you can place it into a single lung. Get enough of that penetration and cavity damage in. It does get a bonus to it. Those numbers are sort of hidden, like those sort of bonus damages, but you can see by the cones and like the cone of the cavity and stuff like that in the different bullets, and just take some time and look at it and you can sort of figure it out. So in this kind of situation, the 7mm is more than capable for taking down these mule deer. In this kind of shot, in a game, it's always a shot you can take. A lot of people would just take the headshot here when you just watch the pattern and just bunk them there. It'll be enough. Like, it'll ruin the trophy, but it depends what your goal is, right? If you, you won't lose any of the meat using the 7mm on these doing a headshot. You just lose the trophy, but if it's not a trophy deer, it doesn't matter. So you can, in real life, you're not supposed to take that shot. But in the game, you can. There, he's turning broadside now. So this is a perfect broadside, well, almost perfect broadside, and this rifle's well more capable, or is very capable of handling that. Now this is the shot you definitely don't take. That's called Texas Heart Shot. You're going through the back. Oh, we got some more guys up here. I just want to take a look what they are. And you know, it's supposed to be a relaxing game. Well, 3-star mature, he can still grow a bit. We'll leave him around. This guy we're definitely gonna take out if I can, but it's important not to be in a hurry and be okay with like losing the harvest or losing the animal. So in this kind of shot, oh, he's gonna turn. In that kind of position, you can actually shoot in the back of the head, and that can actually be quite effective if they're holding still. They might be moving out now, so I might have missed my opportunity on it, but you know what? That's fine. That's just part of the game. Oh, he's going to stop. He's just like, oh, no, I want to eat over here. So as you can see, 165 out. The wind's blowing right in my face, so I don't need too much to the right. So we'll just take another shot. This is a nice little broadside here. We'll take the 7mm. And you want to come in a bit from the back because you want to picture that lung. And if you're trying to get to the second one, you got to come in on a bit of a forward angle. Because if you picture that, the X-ray vision of them, that left lung is going to be a bit back. So you got to be a bit forward. It's going to be hard to explain. A bit forward on that lung, so you intersect that second one where you don't miss them both. That's really kind of hard to explain. The best you can do is just try and practice visualizing the X-ray or the X-ray of the lungs. But there's not much you can do when you lay down. It depends what you want to get out of the game. If you want to try and make it like realistic shot placement, you don't shoot a bedded deer for the most part, unless you're doing archery or something. But even then, so you wait from them to stand. You usually want their head up too, because when their head is forward and their leg back, you get this bit of a shield of bone, right? The shoulder. So their whole little shoulder bone will move with that leg. So the best shot's when their leg's straight forward, like not straight forward, straight down. And that takes a little practice too to get used to that shoulder bone, because you don't want to be losing energy going through it. Yeah, so when he steps forward like that is about when you want to put it behind that little armpit there. And it's usually better when their head is up too, because when their head goes down, their shoulder bone goes forward. But from this angle, it's not a big deal, so we'll just line up a shot here. This is, you can probably see about where the lungs would be, just behind this, or just through where the shoulder is. Just behind where the shoulder is where you want to go. You're going to want to wait for the leg to go forward, but you don't really have to with a 7mm. It'll still break through. But if you're really working on proper shot placement, you'll wait for it forward. Not much wind. He's going to keep stepping though. Now he's going to have a stick in the way. Same thing though, you know, if you lose him, you lose him. But I'm going to take a shot. The shot's a little harder now. Oh, he kind of glitched there. Is he okay? Yeah, okay, no, that's alright. So I'm going to try and take the shot. He's quartering heavy now, so it's going to change, you know, what I'm doing here. It gives you a lot less of an angle to hit that lung. I'm going to attempt it anyways, because I always like the challenge. He's at 171. It's not going to be much of a drop, but there is a bit of drop of a few inches. And he's going to lay down, so we're going to wait. Also try to take the shots from a crouched, position or a prone position, because it'll definitely steady the scope. Okay, so he's coming up. We're going to attempt a difficult shot. Let's see how we do this time. Oh no, he's going to give us a whole new angle here, but no, it's going to be very broadside. Your easiest kind of shot in the game, you don't want to take the shot right now because those sticks like to permanently stop bullets. So I'm going to wait till he steps out a bit more. Okay, out he comes. So I'm going to stop fooling around here. Look at that. I don't know if that little stick stops it or not. No idea, so I'm just going to wait a bit more. Yeah, not really going to fool around. We're going to put it through, double lung him here. So there, that's going to be, I'm going to mark that spot there. He won't make it very far. See the blood there going off. There, so that's going to be, we'll take a look at it. It'll take me a bit to get around the lake. But we'll take a look at that shot there. I'm going to say it's in the back half of the lung, so you can sort of tell when you get used to it about where you hit. Some people also say aim down to the heart. That's not a bad idea too, but the problem with that is you can shoot too low and underneath, and then you won't get a kill at all. It'll just be wounded and run away. Now in archery, you do aim for the heart. They probably won't be modeled in the game, but in archery, the arrow, of course, flies a lot slower than a bullet, and the deer has such quick reflexes that it will move between the time that the arrow is let loose and the arrow actually gets to the deer. So in that quick little time, the deer has such quick reflexes that it will move, and what will happen is the deer will duck down. So you want to aim for the heart, so when he ducks down, when the arrow gets there, it'll be the center mass of the torso. But you know what? It probably won't be modeled in this game. So you do heart shots if you're interested in trying to be that accurate. I certainly will try them once in a while. But you just risk that the angle's harder to figure out, and sort of it's harder to see, to envision the heart, right? And when you're elevated or underneath, it sort of, usually you're elevated, it changes a bit of the angle and how you have to think about it. And the heart's in the middle and low, and what can happen is you can either shoot underneath it if you're broadside, or if you're elevated, you'll shoot in front of it, and like you'll cut the angle too much. You can shoot in front of it and miss. Usually you still hit a lung though, so it's still not a bad idea, but you do risk shooting too low. A lot of my shots are kind of safe shots where they're hitting the center mass of the lung, and then they're often a little back a little bit actually. And I can work on that too. It just depends on what you kind of want to get out of the game, right? Alright, let's take a look at this guy, give him a little bit of an analyze, see what happened. Am I right? Back, the back of the lung. Ooh, even farther back than I thought. So that's where I got a bit of a habit going. I'm hitting too far back in the lung. I should be aiming forward. So yeah, I'm visualizing the shoulder bone and the leg bone too much, and I'm trying to stay away from it. And in the game, that bone doesn't cause too much of a problem for these rifles, so I should probably ignore it a bit more. There, that went right through. Now, why wasn't it in the right lung very long? Oh, because it just clipped it back. So that was too far back, right? So that's just me being protective from this bone, but way too protective of it. So that's kind of a habit that I would want to work on. So same kind of analysis. I find this neat anyways. I love how they modeled this. So you got the flesh hit, and it drops, a good almost 700 joules just going through the flesh. So that's because I entered at that leg, right? So that leg all counts, and then there's like a little bit of air that it went through, like it didn't lose any. Can I zoom into that? Oh, can I? There's like a little white dot in here. Oh, it's all messy. Where there's a little bit, like it entered the leg, and then the little space between the leg and the chest. So it even has that modeled in, which is amazing. Then, oh, this is kind of hard. Like, is the blue the lung? That's too hard to see. Like, isn't it in the lung longer than that? Or am I being deceived here? I think I am. I gotta do the thing where... Oh wait, I know. You can back it up. That's causing problems here. About where it ran out. How did it continue through with no energy? Or is that where it left? I guess that's where it left it. But can I zoom in here? No, we're gonna back up a little more. I forgot I could do that. Then you can sort of see. You're right in there. It's only in the lung, that small little part. And it's hard to see, like, if you don't zoom out. So if you zoom in here, this helps a lot. So it only got a small bit of penetration damage on the left lung. As you can see, the blue is that penetration damage. So it only ticked a little bit. So that penetration damage never would have killed the deer. Now, what killed the deer, of course, is the cavity damage. This one back here is the one through the leg, I think. Whoop. If I back it up, back here. Okay, so this cavity damage, that's going to be the flesh in the leg, hits the space, and then starts doing cavity here and hits more space. Oh, it's so weird. It's so hard to. Yeah, look at the air. This is where it hit the lung here, and there's more space in there that it's modeled. That's kind of neat. But then you got cavity starting here, and then yeah, there was enough cavity damage. That's another example of the 7mm. See where it's expanding into the lung? it's getting bonus damage there. So the only reason I think I killed this guy, I might not have killed him with the 243. Like, look how much that expanded there. The 243 will do it too, but that'd be interesting. Like, it's not a good lung shot. It's just not in the lung long enough. It's just hitting the outskirts, and then sometimes that won't kill. Not in this game. You need to fill up one of these damage bars to get the kill. I don't know if anyone finds that interesting or not. I'm just kind of talking through my thought process of the thing, and I didn't really know you could zoom in that far, but I'm going to be looking at that a lot more now. You can really see the detail, like the spots where it goes through air in between the legs and the muscles and stuff. We've had that before though, where you can double lung something, and I've double lunged a mountain goat with a 243 and didn't kill it. Mainly because of that same scenario right there. It didn't pass through enough of the lung to fill up those damage bars. And that's why that 7mm is going to be a good recommendation for new beginner hunters that can't afford the bigger guns. Pick up that one because it's, for one thing, it's tier 5, so it doesn't wreck the meat at all. So you get full price for your game currency, and it can take down elk with a nice single lung shot, well below the required power. And this is probably going to be a longer video than I normally do. I'm not sure. I've been talking and talking and talking. Let's see now. I think I do want to try a moose though. I want to see if the 7mm can do a moose, because it can do a moose. You can do anything with it. There, I'm stirring a bunch of animals up there now, just some deer. Same sort of, thought process. Oh, I need zone 2 on a catch. Same kind of thing, thought process is, just kind of keep chill and relaxed, and, you stir them up, no big deal. You can sort of follow the little sound signals if you want to track them down or not. Looks like there was 2 herds, or even 3. Look at them all. How many did I spook? Just kind of jogging through here. And then you can sort of just follow them out and catch up to them if you want. But, spooking, no big deal. Just kind of go after them if you want, or just keep on looking for something that's available. Okay, for the final animal for the hunt here, we'll try a moose with a 7mm. I mean, if you can take a moose down with it, then you're good for pretty near anything, really. Though I don't know where she's drawn to, though. Where is she going? You always have to watch the wind, too. So in this situation, the wind's blowing in their direction, so you have to keep that in mind. And it's also going up a hill, so in these kind of situations, there's not much you can do, depending on how much time you want to put into it. You either have to go wide, or you just have to spook them, because with the wind blowing and you're going over a hill, if they're right on the other side, you're pretty much stuck. So this is the zone they were at. Rest zone, is it? Yeah, I already got that rest zone. And they took off this way. Their next zone should be a food one. So in this case, I lost them. I saw her go to the northwest. There might be an eating zone up there, but I have one that's down here. So now it's sort of figuring out where they went to. She must have really took off. Okay, so they're off to that south feeding zone, and I kicked them up out of there. I didn't have any visibility on them, and they spooked off this way. So I should be able to relocate them, since I know where they want to go. Okay, I don't know if I stumbled into the same ones or not, but there's a group right here. 1-star mature, perfect. So he's one I want to remove. So he's going to be our victim. He's 125 out. Not going to do too much. So this is a very underpowered gun for moose. However, with its bonus to its cavity damage, I'm counting on it being able to take down one lung with a well-placed shot. So I can't get any bone in the way or anything like that. So he's got a slight quarter towards. So he's got this whole leg and shoulder bone blocking his lung. The alternative is to try and get his heart. So this is where you kind of have to make your decision. I'm not actually sure what to do. I could try and see. So you visualize the lungs here. So they got great big lungs. There's a left one there. The right one would come out here a bit. When his head's like that, you got no shot unless you sneak it underneath. The heart is forward and low, but back a little bit. Probably right in there if you visualize right. Oh, I don't know. I might be able to sneak that in there. That's about right, too. Alright, let's try that shot. The wind's good. Distance is good. And I want to straighten out his head here, because I don't want to, like, clip his chin or anything. Alright, yeah, keep visualizing of the lung. Come on there, straighten your head. Just kind of keep the x-ray vision going on best you can. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work or not. So hit him on the right side. If it didn't do enough, I'm not sure it did. If it didn't do enough, I'm gonna have to hit him on the right side again to knock out that lung. Let's go take a look. Oh, and there's a bear calling over there too. Female. I'm not gonna try a bear with this. Let's reload it up. So now I have to find this moose or take him down. Because if he doesn't go down, the only way I'm gonna learn is by seeing my shot. And that's not looking too good. No, so he's not going to die from that. So I'm trying to guess what I hit there. If I got the right lung, it did not do enough damage to kill him, because I wasn't really aiming for the lung. And in this kind of scenario, I think you can run into the scenario where you can actually hit the heart, but not knock it out. So that could have been too. Super hard, but now I want to, I kind of want to learn about the shot now, so I'm going to have to track him down. Okay, they're right up ahead, I believe. I think it's the same group. I'm going to mark this last blood spot, in case I have to come back to it and spook them here. They're in the woods, so that's going to make it difficult. And how this game works is if I damage this right lung, hitting the left lung's not going to do a thing. Unless I can knock out the left lung in one shot, which I guess you can't. Maybe you can. I don't know. More practice needed for that. But if I damage that right lung a bit, putting one right into it should take the moose down. So much for trying to do one shot. Okay, she's over there, and they should all be hanging together. Yep, so there they are there. Gonna mark them up. At least I hope it's the same group. I think it is. I just gotta figure out. That's not the right one though. Where is the 1-star mature gone? Well, this is strange. I only see the 2. Cow and the adult. Where's the other 2 gone? Oh, I'm stuck in the tree. One of those things. Lay down and crawl. There you go. Now which way were they? Oh, right there. So, where'd the other 2 go? I know this is the group because this is the blood here. Whoop! I didn't want to do that. Here's his blood. Did he go off to the side then? You can see the blood trail go. Where is he hiding? I'm in close and I've located 3 of them. Everyone but the one I need. Unless he's behind her. Is that him behind her there? No, that's the adult. Now the other one was up here. I can't find him anywhere. Okay, I got him. I got the wrong side of him though. I need him to turn. Oh, what to do here? Because if I put another shot into him, I don't know. I don't think the 7 mil can go through that lung to the other side. I need his other side. So this is where the patience needed. If he doesn't turn, I mean, I can try to get through there. It's very close. A good angle too. I mean, I can try. I mean, why not, eh? It's all about learning. I don't think it's gonna make through. Here, heart. Oh, jeez, that's even. I just don't know the moose heart well enough. Lung. So you got lung there. Heart's gonna be in there. Now he's gonna move out. I can't see well enough for a shot. Sticks might block the shot. Who knows? Can I get? Okay. Looks like it's all clear. Well, I don't think he's ever going to turn all the way around, is he? That's, I mean, sometimes you just have to be patient, but sometimes I don't have patience. But I don't think you can get to the heart from here. Look at this. If you visualize it in, and there's no angle there to that heart. Not with this caliber. Right there, maybe. It's got to go through that leg. Oh, here we go. Right side. I'm going to take the shot as soon as I got one. Ah, come on. Trees in the way. Trees in the way. Come to the opening. That hit that stick, didn't it? That hit this little thing, didn't it? Oh my goodness. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's just how it goes. You shouldn't be playing this game if you can't take a joke. Yeah. This whole tree is a blocked hitbox. Oh my goodness. And I no longer have a blood trail. Unless this is one. Nope, that's bear. I don't know, I couldn't find any blood, like he stopped bleeding, I guess. He went this direction though, maybe I can spot him. Well, once you've lost them, all you can really do is, if you know which group it is, and it was this moose here, all you can really do is patrol their need zones. This is one of the feeding zones, I don't have the second one. And they should be around the feed zone. I haven't got that one located. But that's all you can really do. It's getting dark. If it gets too dark, I'll have to go after them in the morning. It helps to have persistence, but just don't drive yourself crazy. I have this group of moose. I have both their drink zones, so I think the easiest way is to come back in the morning at the drink time. And it should be at either one of them. And after a good night's rest, you're rejuvenated with more hunting patience, and we're just going to trot out to the 2 drinking zones and have a peek. Okay, the first drink zone, this should be them here. There he is there. Alright, let's mark them up. We've got a long shot to do. Gonna get a bit closer. And from here I could just take my time and wait for him to give me that right side. And sometimes, instead of tracking them down, you just wait the next morning, catch them at a need zone. Whoa! I thought I was going to go over. I just went back up on this rock. There we go. So what's the distance here? So that's the guy there, got the wrong side. So that's 220. If I want to simulate a shot here, wind's with us. And you just want to shoot a little high. It'll drop a few inches. Put it right in that lung when he turns. It is possible to single shot them with the 243 anyways, and if it's possible with the 243, the 7 mil should be able to do it. I don't know if I've done it twice. I know I've done it at least once. It's on the video. A little less range than this, but the 243 put him down in one shot. Oh, now he's walking away. I don't know. Can I sneak a shot into that lung? Yeah, this is kind of dangerous. And I got the tree right there going to be blocking it. No shot. You shouldn't be done drinking by now. Get back here. Oh, looks like it's going to be a longer shot needed. And here he comes again, always with the left side. Which one is he? Oh, he's the one in the back. He just won't give me that right side. Oh, I thought he was just going to turn, but instead he went straight on. I mean, in this case, you could always try the headshot. But I don't know. I just want the satisfaction of knocking out that right lung. And I'm not sure the 7mm will knock the skull out at this range. Okay, he was right side for just a minute, but he's in this bush. So much for that. He got like stuck and then he turned around. And now I can't shoot through this tree. I mean, there's not even that many trees. How is this guy always behind a tree? And there was his right side for just a second, but the bullet can't go through this. Sometimes it tests the patience. There's his right side. And maybe clear the tree. Oh, I'm going to get you on the run then. That might have been too far back. I think it was too. Well, this is going to be quite the time. And oh man. Alright, let's check that. That is what happens when the patience runs out. So I've been tracking this guy. He stopped bleeding, and I found him again. 220 out. He will never give me that right side very often, except for when I flub that shot there on the run. So you know what? We're just going to go for the left lung. And the 243's done it before. So we're going to check here. Got a bit of wind to the right. Some drop. I can't tell. That one might be better. I don't know how much the wind got on that. But we will see. I don't know, maybe his left lung was already damaged. Alright, after 3 shots, we're going to have a dead moose finally. So this will be interesting to see what the harvest screen looks like. This is a good way to learn. That took a lot of time to get them. And basically, if you're going to go moose hunting, you just use a bigger gun. But still, using the lower caliber is a good way to learn. It's a good way to uninstall as well. Alright, here he is. Let's see the damage. Alright, first shot, number 1. I knew it was a forward quartering shot. Impacting a lot of bone. Hit the lung, but hit the lung with way too little power. Right lung was nowhere near, so it lost a bunch of power going through that bone. You can see it right here. Alright, so we're going to zoom right in. And so that's where it's entering the flesh, starting to tick away on damage. And then we've got entering the bone. Wait, it says the bone was back here. There's the bone. Losing tons of power through the bone. It's left the bone. Yep, there it is. So that's that leg, right? That you gotta be careful of. Looks like, I'm not sure where it's hitting there. Hit something. And then it finally entered the lung. So that's when it started finally doing cavity damage. I just didn't have any Just didn't have any energy left. So that was shot number one. I kind of figured that. That's so when you're looking at the shot, you're looking from this angle, right? And I was trying to sneak it in front of the bone, but it caught that leg bone, and that just took all the power out of it. So if it didn't catch that, like it was just in front of that, like it just caught that leg bone. If it didn't catch that, I bet you that would have been a single shot. So that kind of stinks there. But let's, that's what happens. Shot number two is going to be a bad one on the back of him here. Oh, well, here's something weird. Now, this doesn't make any sense at all. Why didn't he die? That might be a bit of a bug then. So enter the flesh there, doing damage to the flesh there. Hit bone, lost a bunch more damage there. By the time I got to the lung, it was too weak. However, up in the top right, it went red. Red bleed damage. That moose should have died. That second shot was okay. I thought it was bad. That shot was alright, and he did not die. So that's interesting there. It filled up, it went red, that means dead moose, but he never did die. So, I don't know, that's a different one. And we're going to go to shot three, a left lung, and actually let's go back again. So no damage to the left lung, so if you do it right with the 7 mil or the 243, it hits the lung at close to 1900 joules, and the cavity damage is full. It's at artery bit 2, but it killed that left lung one shot. So it can do it if you're straight on, and it never caught any bone on the way in. So it didn't lose any. It looks like it should caught bone there, right? But maybe it's not modeled that precisely. But yeah, oh, no bone. All right, well that's how that goes. All right, I had to cut it off there. So I very much hope you enjoyed watching the episode, and thank you very much for tuning in, and take care.